Liam, how's the squad? Is everyone fit and available for Friday?
I think Ronan is the main one that is still struggling from an ankle injury a while back, and it's his calf that's causing him problems. So he'll be the one definite that won't be available to us.
So everyone else is available. So, how's Kevin O'Connor's injury coming?
Sorry, Kev as well. It's a slow process. It's a nerve problem, so he's another one obviously that's still struggling as well. Other than that, a few fellas are carrying a few little niggles, but we're hoping everyone in beds will be available. It
seems like kind of a strange injury for Kev. Is he getting kind of frustrated not being able to play with it?
Yeah, he is. It's been something that was kind of an innocuous enough kind of injury. We didn't expect it to take so long to recover, but apparently it's just week by week building the strength back in the arm again. He's doing a lot more running now as well, so it's frustrating for everyone, but as I said, hopefully he'll be back soon enough.
As a team, how do you feel you're progressing since Neil has come in?
Yeah, I suppose people will always look at results because obviously that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. I think watching the football, I think it's certainly been nice to watch at times. We've created some good opportunities in certain games. Last week was definitely frustrating in terms of the final third. I think he might have spoke about himself after the game. And I think sometimes when the confidence is a bit low, people are probably struggling to take a little bit of responsibility and make something happen. So this week, we boys again, they always train well in fairness to them. Just been working a little bit on the final third in product and just taking that little bit of responsibility and grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck.
It just seems to me like you just need that one goal, that one spark to kind of really ignite you.
Yeah, I suppose you look at the other night and you think if that penalty goes in, everyone has that little weight off their shoulder, and maybe if it did go in we might have had that little bit more confidence to create a little bit more. So I think when you're in a situation we're in, and listen, it's new to us all, to be honest, where we are in the table and feeling that pressure. Generally, in the last few years, it's been pressure to win the league. So, it's been a tough year for everyone involved in the whole club. It hurts to see where we are in the table, but we're there. We're in that situation now, and we have to dig this out and keep the club in the Premier Division.
If you do get a penalty on Friday, will Connor take it, or is that going to be?
It's not something we discussed yet, but listen, Connor he was man enough to step up, and he's a great penalty taker in fairness to him, and some days they go in, some they don't. But it shows the character that the fella has, that he was the first man to go up and look for the ball.
You mentioned it's been a frustrating season. You see Dundalk win the league title last night, must make it, I suppose, extra frustrating, and must give you a kind of motivation as well to get back to that level.
Definitely. You look at the squad that Dundalk have, they've been fantastic. To win the league at this stage again is an incredible achievement. Does it hurt? Of course it does. It's been the last 5 seasons we've been up ourselves and them toe to toe all the way. So to be where we are now from where we were is very disappointing. As a Cork City man, like we all are, we've got pride, proud of where we've been, and I suppose we all want to turn things around. Our primary goal at the moment is obviously keep the club in the Premier Division and obviously assess everything into the season and get things back to where we want to be.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, Liam, seeing Dundalk on the title with 4 games to spare, like obviously Cork City over the previous 5 seasons, the only side to match them really, and get ahead of them obviously 2017. You heard Vinnie Perk talking after us about that, they're set to continue their dominance and they want to get better. Like, is that a frightening prospect, like in terms of how you're going to try and match them again, or try to get at them again?
I think it's a frightening prospect for the whole league, to be honest. Obviously every time you win a league, you're in the Champions League, so you're getting obviously money coming in from all angles. The people running the club obviously have heavily invested as well, so you're competing with that in a different level, because obviously we can't match that in terms of the way we're probably looking going forward. Is we've got a lot of really good young players coming through, and it probably is going to take time to blend in with the senior players going forward. Obviously where the situation is at the moment, where we're in a position where we need to win every game, obviously. It's harder, and it's hard to put young lads into that situation then, and obviously expect them to be coming out on the right side of it. So I suppose that's, as a club, we're probably looking at it going forward, it's a project where we're going to be bringing young players in, blending in with first team players. Are we going to be able to compete with Dundalk to win leagues? Probably going to be very difficult unless there's investment coming in from the outside. But at the same time, we have a lot of young good players coming through, and it's up to us as coaches and management to integrate them to make Cork City into a team that can definitely compete at the top.
Yeah, where do you stand, Liam, on, you know, you hear people, Cork City fans that you talk to, we talk about down the years about the football that City were playing wasn't good enough, wasn't attractive football, then you go in attacking sides and get beaten well, you know. Obviously it's getting the balance right, isn't it? Yeah.
Listen, I suppose it's all about winning. First team football is about winning. And we've been lucky enough in a position in the last couple of years that we've been winning and we've been up there competing. People will have their own opinion on how the football was, but in the day we had players on the pitch that were good enough to go and beat the top teams. Now, as you said, it comes back to the players you have to compete against the likes of Dundalk, who probably have the best players all even on the bench, and they've got a serious squad there. So we're trying to play football in a good way to try and build play and all the rest of it, but sometimes you have to look too and say it's going to take time. We've got a lot of young players that are coming into the first team now, playing in the right way, physically still developing, mentally even developing, being able to deal with senior football, to be able to deal with crowds when you're playing well, when you're not playing well. So it takes time, you know. Yeah,
very tough match on the road again for you, Liam, on Friday. How do you think you'll approach it, like tactically? You know,
I suppose we look at it. Derry are flying. They've had a great season. I think Declan has done a great job up there. Really seemed to galvanise the whole city of Derry, and they play with, you know, a lot of good pace around the pitch. So we know going up there we'll want to obviously keep it tight. At the start, we don't want to concede early, and obviously probably, you know, as the game progresses, then feel our way into it and try and get that at them in certain times.
Yeah, I suppose to be an encouragement there with the performance away to Dundalk, Liam, not so long ago. Encouragement there, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at that day as well. You've Alec Byrne playing first start probably of the season in the middle of the park, and he was excellent. Probably not a lot said about him after the game because we still lost, obviously. But you know, these young boys are coming in playing against the best in the league, competing, and it will take time and opportunities as well that they need to come in and play on a regular basis. But you know, we proved that day up to the 78th minute, I think it was, that we didn't give them a lot of opportunities. They were very frustrated, you could tell at half time. The game was well in the balance. So we're going up there at the same time. We know we need to defend well, but also we need to create ourselves. And we took a lot of things from that game, especially away from home, of how we can frustrate opposition and then maybe counter on that as well.
Yeah, and just one win, I suppose, from your last 5 league games would be enough to keep you in the top flight, Liam. But obviously, the sooner the better you get that kind of win.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, listen, you have to approach every game. What I'm talking about there is how you set up defensively, and it's going to be tough away from home. You're still going out to win the game. I think if you go into any game thinking, "Oh, we'll take a point here," that very rarely comes to fruition anyway. So, as you said, the sooner we get the win, the better for everyone as well, because then you obviously can start filtering through more younger players as well to give them opportunities where there's not that pressure going into it for them as well, so that you're already safe. So yeah, look, we approach every game trying to win it. If we can win our next game, which is up in Derry, then that would be brilliant going forward then as well.
I suppose the extra disappointment in Dryma Finn Harps last Friday was that arguably your best side out, best 11 you can pick. You know, do you expect the same 11 on Friday? Do you expect changes to that?
I suppose there could be a couple of changes going up there, depending on, as I said, the shape that we're going to play. Look, we've got a strong 11 any day of the week that we should be winning games with. Obviously, as I said, we've got a lot of talent as well coming off the bench. That is, as the season progresses, and if we can get over the line and get enough points that we can be safe, that you give them the opportunity. And I think once they start playing on a regular basis, the future will be bright. It's going to be exciting football with young players who've got energy, and I think we need that in the team.
After Dundalk winning it, and you've Dundalk coming up and Rovers, you think that those two particular games will be kind of less pressurised? Dundalk have wrapped up, Rovers are going to be second, presumably, and you know what I mean, when you get to play them.
I suppose the biggest one for us, we'll be looking at ourselves and the pressure that we'll have. So, as you said, if the sooner we get the 3 points that we need or whatever it is, then you can approach them games with a different outlook as well of how we're going to approach it. They might not have a lot to play for, but boys that are playing for us certainly will have a lot to play for going in to try and get a contract for the following season. So that's the way we'll be looking at it. And as I said, there's a lot of young boys there hungry to come in and play, and they hopefully will get the opportunity as the season progresses.
Next season will really be the season, because I presume there's going to be a fair bit of upheaval in the coming months, and those young fellas will be progressing. But are you talking nearly 2 years before they hit a peak as such? The likes of Alec Burnham and so on.
Yeah, listen, I suppose you never know how long it's going to take until they're thrown into that position. You know, you're hoping fellas take to it like a duck to water. Some of them will, some of them might not. Some of them might take a little longer. But the one thing I know is that you look at the under-19s now, they've won their section in advance last weekend, 17s for second. So like, it doesn't take long for some players to progress. You look at Josh Onan coming in, was excellent. You know, you've Dale Holland, you've got Rory, you've got so many options there coming through, which is great. But as you said, it might take a little bit of time and a bit of patience as well. But these are all good lads. I mean, look across the academy, there's players coming in from all around Munster now. You know, and the progress.
There's no shortage of potential, actually, is there?
There's no shortage of potential.
Talent,
no, and I suppose a lot of these boys are from Cork too, which for me, always down the years, we've had a great Cork City spine. Cork people, fans generally will get behind them as much as they can, give them the benefit of the doubt if they're having a bad time, which would be crucial as well. And obviously, you're trying to still bring in players from outside to give that quality as well as the young boys coming through.
For yourself, Liam, will you be part of Neil's backroom team next year? Have you had that discussion yet? Or?
We've had chats about it. As I said, look, I love this club. I've been here a long time, played for a long time, and I'd love to be part of some of a backroom staff that can get the club back to where it needs to be.